Hi everyone, my name is Brie Sodano. I'm a personal finance expert and the founder of From Sheep to Shark. And today I want to talk about the 3 savings habits that you really need to think about as 3 different separate habits to build wealth. So the first savings habit that you're going to want to actually build wealth in a long term is what I call planting. So the 3 are planting, preparing, and pleasure. And so planting is going to be when you start saving for the purpose of accumulation. It's going to be for the purpose of investments. This is not your rainy day money. This is not your emergency money. This is money specifically that you're going to use to buy investments. Now, the best way to set this type of account or this type of purpose for money up is going to be automatically. You may want to use your employer's retirement plan, or you may want to use it could be a retirement account. It could be just a bank account that you're going to use to buy a piece of real estate, or how you do it really doesn't matter, as long as that habit is set up automatically. And so 10% of your income is going to be a rule of thumb. Obviously, everyone needs to start where they are. So the second type of savings habit that you want to have is going to be a habit around preparing for the future. Now, I call this the anti-emergency fund. Some people like to talk about emergencies, but the whole point of having money set aside to be prepared for the future is specifically to avoid emergencies. And so I like to call this working capital. And in that type of account, you want to start to think about what catches me off guard over the course of a year. Do I have family obligations coming up? Is anyone getting married? What's my back to school situation like? Do I have to travel anywhere? So you want to think about your family obligations. You also want to think about your irregular expenses. And when I say irregular, I mean non-monthly. So let's say you have taxes that happen twice a year, or you know that your car requires maintenance, that sort of thing. And then you also want to consider, what are the foreseeable disasters? Like, what in my house might break over the next year, and should I start saving money for that? And the last bit is self-care that's not monthly. So for example, I go and get my roots done, but I don't go every single month. It's not a monthly expense, but it's a regular and predictable expense. So those are things that you also want to prepare for. So you want to really look at that, total that up for the cost of the year, and then divide it up by month, by week, or per paycheck, whatever works best for you. You want to separate that money out from your checking account, because typically what happens is the money that goes into the checking account is going to come right back out of the checking account, like a spaghetti strainer. So if you start to build that savings account, you want to build that somewhere where it's easily transferable, but not necessarily in the same accounts that you're going to swipe your debit card from. So that way it's got a little bit of protection. If you're going to use that money, you are going to use it on purpose, like with intention. So that is the next habit that I suggest there. Now, the thing about being prepared, that type of preparation account, is that when you go to use that money, you're going to have to learn that money that's not your accumulation money. That account is going to build up and then get used, and then build up and then get used. And really the point of that, having money in your working capital account to be prepared, is to stay off the plastic, stay off the credit cards. And so I will tell you that a lot of clients call me and they are doing great. They get quite a bit of money saved, and then life happens and they have to use that exact same money that they set aside for that purpose, and they get hurt feelings about it. So, and having money for being prepared, you have to be prepared to also let that money go, so that way it's not a painful experience. We want this to be like, oh, I knew that I was going to need snow tires, and I wrote the check and it was fine. That's the type of experience that you want to have that way. Now, the last savings habit that is going to be critical to your wealth building success is saving for life's pleasure. So this may be, updates to your home. It may be vacations. It may be new cool toys. Like whatever is going to be really important for you in your life, you want to start to set some money aside for that. Now, the reason for that is because when we feel deprived, when we feel like we work super hard and we don't get to use our money for any of the stuff that we want, we tend to get real spendy in small increments. We tend to self-sabotage what could be our success. And so you want to think about, what are the things that I really want to do in the next year or next 2 years, or if it's something huge, the next 5 years. And you want to start to set a little bit of money aside for those things. Because as you start to do that, that goal becomes more real. Now, one tip for your pleasure account is you have to tell yourself the truth about what you're saving for. Sometimes people water it down and they give themselves some nonsense BS type savings goal. I'll give you a quick example. So I had clients who want to go to Australia. That is the truth about what they want. That's really where they want to go. And they thought that goal was too big. And so they're saving for a weekend at the lake house, like a lake in their state, in their town, a couple hours away. So the thing is when you are telling yourself the truth, it becomes very easy to make choices. So if you're saying, all right, do I want to put money into my savings account for my trip to Australia that I really want to go on? Or do I want to go have margaritas with the girls? You can really weigh that decision out clearly. And you can choose, you're going to make your choice from there. Obviously, it will depend on the day and things like that. But it makes it very clear when you have a watered down nonsense goal that's not the real truth, it becomes very difficult to make the trades that may be required to actually achieve that goal. So you may set a smaller goal, but it's actually harder to achieve. So I generally suggest for clients to really tell the truth about what it is that they want. So that way they can do it. So again, we'll just wrap up. So the 3 savings habits that you're going to want to be able to financially build wealth are going to be to plant for your future. So this is going to be for the purpose of accumulation. You want to have prepared for the year. You want to be prepared. So this is going to help to prevent going into debt, and it's going to just help you not be a super stressed out mess. And then you want to have some money for pleasure, and so that to enjoy all what life has to offer. All right. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comment. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye.